Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright. Yep.
Yeah. I got something.
That's
for
amazing.
Him.
I did not even. I love that.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
What's going on, everybody? Tuesday night, another edition of the Lazy Booking Podcast, live here on A2D Radio. Niche night. Flyers Talk A2D comes at you this evening. But we're going to hit you with some wrestling action here. As always, Chrome and my pal over here, Mr. Eric Archer. Arch, what's up, buddy?
Well, I'm not in Green Bay, so you're stuck with me.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
good to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, it sucks you didn't get to go. Maybe we'll if you want to, maybe we'll share it with everybody. We weren't expecting to do a show, obviously, right? We were going to take the week down. You weren't supposed to be here. I got a crazy next month and a half, so I was like, yeah, maybe it's the one day I should. But here we are. We're also happy to welcome in A2D legend, wrestling legend, Mr. Ritz. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Welcome back, man. What a week to talk, by the way. That's why, we still thought about taking the week off. After last night, there was no way to do that.
Yeah, literally, obviously we'll get into it, but the main topic happens, and I went, guess we're still not doing a show because nobody said anything. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, well, he had side messaged me, Eric, and, I obviously had to let him know for sure this morning because I had made some other plans. Expecting not to, but
believe it or not, Chrome has a life.
Yeah, believe it. It's for real. Specialized Physical Therapy, our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal, and his award-winning team. Hit them up. Physical locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find them on the web at that website right there, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. Any aches, pains, long-lasting or newly acquired physical ailments you have going on, contact the team. They'll take a look at you. They'll evaluate. They'll get you set up, and they'll get you moving in the right direction. So, guys, big week. Obviously, like we said, we really didn't think we were going to do a show this week, but I'll say whether Eric was in Green Bay or not, regardless, after what happened last night, I was going to have to find a way to do it. If I sat here by myself and talked, we were going to find a way to do a show tonight because big things happened yesterday. We're going to talk about the PWI Women's Top 250 that released today at the end of the show. We're going to recap some other big major events on a very, I think, eventful Monday Night Raw this week. But we absolutely cannot go anywhere until we talk about the opening topic. Here at Agree to Disagree Radio, we always open up with agree or disagree statement, and ours this week is John Cena should retire as the WWE Intercontinental Champion. Agree or disagree. So if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on X, Twitter, wherever you're at, give us a like, give us a follow, share us out, tell your friends about it, tell your grandma about it. She might be into wrestling now. Tell your kids about it. But also, please join the conversation in our comment section. We want to hear from you if you agree or disagree to this. Big thing happens last night. Show opens up. Triple H does a massive intro for John Cena in Boston. Incredible pop. It was that in and of itself was cool. You know what I mean? Great for Cena. He comes out to the crowd. He cuts his promo. He talks about, how important it was for him. He said, basically, I didn't pick the dates. I didn't pick the venues. They asked me, and the really only request I told him is, I want to go in front of Boston one last time. Because he's from West Newbury, Massachusetts. So that comes to fruition last night. They have this incredible opening segment where he talks about that. He talks about the last time is now tournament. And he talks about Saturday night's main event that's going to be coming up. Makes another kind of under the radar announcement that I think clearly got blown out of the water. And that was that this specific Saturday night's main event is going, it sounds like to me, guys, is going to be an entire event of opportunities, not just in his match, but it's going to be established talent working with some of the up and coming top NXT talent to showcase them on a big show with the main roster. So I think that was another thing that really was great to hear about, because that is something that'll differentiate the typical Saturday night's main event that we've talked about in the past. So sure, we'll touch on that. But anyway, Dominik Mysterio comes out, interrupts John Cena, talks about how his championship celebration got interrupted, and that he doesn't get interrupted, but he interrupts old guys. And then he talks about how he's better than everybody. He would have beat Cena in any era of the John Cena run. And then Triple H drops the hammer, says, well, if you think you could beat him in any era, let's see you do it. We're going to have an Intercontinental title match. So I thought a very, very good match between the two. Dom, I thought, looked great in this match. We get to the finish. We have a referee bump. We have Cena. It's just such an entertaining guy. They do the, undo the turnbuckle, and then that distracts the referee. Dom gets a chair, and then he tosses it to Cena, falls down, the old Eddie Guerrero move. And Cena counters that by dropping the chair next to Dom and then laying down. And then they have this funny exchange where Dom's looking at him, and then Cena looks at him and gives him a smile, gives him a wink. All this great stuff that we've seen from Cena. I mean, it's just been incredible. Anyway, we get there, and obviously Cena doesn't hit the AA. Dom ends up hitting him with the 619, goes for the frog splash, hits it, but Cena, who earlier in the night tells him he's invincible, he presses, grabs Dom, picks him up, presses him over his head into I call it the FU, the AA, whatever you want to call it. Hits Dom, gets the pin. One of the loudest pops I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. I think that is up there. I don't know if it tops it. We've talked about how you had the Mankind winning the championship was kind of one of the craziest pops that's ever happened when Austin's music hit. I think it's close. Place goes insane when Cena wins the title. So I don't know what this means, boys. And sorry, I had to set the stage for everybody. Some people maybe didn't see it, but I feel like it's always good to give the context of the event we're talking about. So I'm going to let Eric kick it off here. We'll work it around to Andy. We'll get back to me. You agree, disagree with this statement? John Cena should retire as the WWE Intercontinental Champion. Another quick footnote. Now the 22nd man and 28th overall to be a Grand Slam champion in WWE history. So, time's yours.
Well, I would say, just to piggyback off of what you said, I think it was tremendous last night, what we saw. And I think it's well-deserved that he became the Grand Slam champion. I hear Cena in that promo and over the last few weeks talking about giving back and providing stuff that he was provided when he first started. And I think this is an opportunity here. He's gotten the Intercontinental title, which I see this as a WWE idea. I don't see this as a Cena idea. I think this was something like, hey, here's a gift. Thank you for all you've done. Here's the last championship that you haven't won with the WWE. With that being said, I don't think he will leave with the Intercontinental title. And the reason why is I think it's an opportunity to kind of what he's been saying regarding giving back. It's an opportunity for maybe a new star or somebody that we don't even know, we're not even looking at right now, to get that opportunity to take that title from John Cena and build him up and kind of what they're alluding to, giving somebody an opportunity. And I think this is just an added part to that. So I don't think he should retire with the title, but I really don't think he's going to. So I think just a great opportunity to catapult somebody. And we talk about this on the show where who's that next big star? Who's somebody who is going to benefit from this tournament. There's names floating around. We're seeing some of the brackets. I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I think this is even more of an opportunity to throw some Cena dust on somebody new, somebody that could use it. And what better way is to have that IC title over their shoulder or around their waist or whatever they want. That's it.
Yeah, Andy.
So before I get really into this, you got to throw a lot of credit to Joe Tessitore, who set that stage beautifully last night, leading into Triple H being in the ring, talking about West Newbury and how close it was, and how John had come to the TD Garden and the Garden to see.
Joe Tessitore is amazing. He was 100% yet for WWE.
He was fantastic leading into that. Then Triple H. Again, like you said, put him over. Once John and Triple H are in the ring, I went back to like 2007, 2008, 2009, when it was that little bit back and forth between them. Cena was at the top, Triple H was obviously still at the top of his game. And then to have Dominik Mysterio come out, which was a match that everybody had been clamoring for. And as the date started dwindling more and more, it became very evident that we probably weren't going to get that match. And so to get it now in Boston, I thought was so well done, because you had the number one heel, arguably the number one heel of the company, in the ring with a wrestling legend, somebody who's on the Mount Rushmore, the GOAT, and a crowd that was raucous from the start, right? Like, they were raucous from the video packages to set this, to kick things off. Do I think John Cena retires with the Intercontinental Championship? I think you almost have to. There's not a lot of dates left. We know he's in the Madison Square Garden next week, unless he does in some kind of open challenge, which I saw. I think it was, who said that? Dynasty said that.
Yeah, I didn't. I was waiting for a break. There's some good comments. That's why I didn't get to you guys. I didn't think anybody think I was skipping them, but they actually.
No, they're great. They're great comments.
I wanted to make sure we got in here and then pop those comments up. So,
but I don't, unless you do something like that, or you have the winner of the tournament, it becomes now a Intercontinental title match. Right, I don't see a where you're going to have him, because it's the New York show, and then we don't see him again until the Saturday night's main event, I think. Am I correct? I think that's all his dates. So,
yep.
Survivor Series.
Is he slated?
He's scheduled to appear, which doesn't mean he's going to have a match.
I would probably argue that that's the finals. Of the Survivor Series could be the finals of the tournament.
That makes sense.
So, assuming for a second that they are the finals, right? Damn, you just broke my train of thought. I don't see where you're going to be able to position John to drop that belt. And I don't know if you almost want him to drop that belt. I was reading earlier today, somebody said that putting the title on John Cena was the wrong move to make, and it was WWE it was the one wrong thing they did in this tour, because John will have to drop the title quickly, or Dominik, you buried Dominik with this, and I don't think you did any of that. One, Dominik looked fantastic coming out of last night. He took Cena, I won't say to the breaking point, but he went toe to toe with Cena, and he held his own. He didn't look like he was some up and coming rookie, or somebody who's only been doing this for a couple of years. And then you put a title on John Cena that he's never had. You can't. It's almost like somebody was sitting there writing the Saturday night's main event, like almost like a speech for either Triple H or for John Cena or whatever have you. And somebody said, "Oh God, he's never won the Intercontinental title. He's not the Grand Slam champion." And that's why we got last night. You also got him to win a title in Boston. You made the Boston show so much more special. And I think that was WWE looking at the Boston fans and going, sorry we're not doing his final match here. Politics be damned. Here's what we're going to give you instead. So let him run it. Let him run it for 3 weeks. Let him run it for a month. You don't want to drop the IC title that quickly. You don't want him to look on paper as a transitional champion. So protect all that. Have him retire with it. Which means he will ultimately, I think, win his final match. You know, we've alluded to that before on here because Angle beat him in his debut match. He's wanting to put somebody over and give somebody that opportunity. Well, that opportunity was got his ass kicked in his first match, but that person held their own. So there's a lot of different factors in play here, but I'm going to disagree. I mean, I'm going to agree. I think he retires.
Can you come back to me, Chrome, when you're done?
Just go ahead, because I'm gonna go on my own diatribe. So you go ahead.
So we mentioned Dom, right? And I'm gonna give credit to Bully Ray this morning on Busted Open.
I heard all this.
And I'm gonna take it and put my side of it. So it's not the complete agreement of what he said. So what he said this morning was he thought that Dom should be in the tournament and be in the finals against John Cena and have Dom go over on Cena. And when the match is over, Cena is giving him he hands him the title and he goes to shake his hand and Dom goes, "Nope, I'm good," and walks off like a super heel. My slant on this is I think, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I like the concept based on what happened last night. Dom looked so good in this match that why wouldn't you run it back? It was so well done, and there's a story behind it where Dom lost the match. He's looking for Judgment Day, like, where am I? Where are all my guys at? I don't know if you saw the backstage promo after the match. He's looking for his Judgment Day guys, can't find them. So he gets in the tournament, he gets to the finals, he wins, and he faces Cena. He wins the Intercontinental title. Cena gives him the title, and instead of walking away, he shakes his hand and becomes an ultimate babyface, like we've been trying to get to for several months. You want to build new stars? That's the way to do it. You're giving back. Why wouldn't you do that? Why? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but wouldn't it make sense to build the biggest star, like one of the guy that you're trying to build up and you've been put so much into for years, and make him a babyface because the fans are already cheering him anyway? Why not just go that direction?
Because he's already a star, though, right? That defeats the whole purpose of this. That's why, like, I'm looking at names like Rusev, Sheamus, you know, Gunther, like some of these guys, they don't need that win.
But Dom could use it.
I hear you. I see what you're saying, right? And I think if this was anything else, I think that maybe, right? You have a good story to tell there. I think, though, with this, ultimately, whoever goes in that slot is going to be probably somebody from NXT, probably somebody from another company that they're bringing in, you know, a young up-and-coming talent, or somebody who has just been kind of hanging out in the mid-card, hasn't really gotten a big pop or anything like that. Kind of like how Cena was.
Are you saying for the final match slot?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be Gunther.
I listening
continue
to
what you're saying, because I have a lot to respond to.
No, absolutely.
Get your shit in, and then I'll get my shit.
Listening to what Cena's been saying, and listening to even, you know, what Eric's been saying. You know, I flipped my camera.
You had it right
the first time.
No, I didn't.
Go with your gut, man.
So on my screen, I'm pointing at Eric.
Yeah, it's the other one.
Okay. Anyway, on my screen, I'm pointing up at Eric. Screw it. We move on. But listening to what everybody has said and how we're building up new talent and we're building up and somebody to be a big name, you got a lot of big names already here. And that's why the Gunther thing still doesn't work with me. I get it. I hear you guys, right? But I don't know. That's why I still don't know if that works for me. Because also, I would want Gunther to win that match, and I think Cena's winning.
No, I think Gunther goes over. I think Gunther goes over. The reason Gunther needs this win, and I think of anybody, is Gunther has all of the tools and everybody talks about it. And what was the big knock on his reign? It's that he didn't have a signature win. A win over John Cena in his final match is a signature win to stamp him, whether it's a face or a heel. In terms of what Eric's suggesting, I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more. I don't think Dom is a huge star already. We talked for weeks about how the Boston and MSG matches are just as important of a spot for anybody to get as the final matches. And he was featured in that. And they gave him a 10-minute promo like battle with Cena. And he looked like $1 million in it. He doesn't need it. I actually think it's counterproductive to have
no way. No way.
Listen,
you sprinkle that dust on him, he gets his win back, and he's
the whole point of the tournament is pointless. Then it doesn't. He is already a baby face, Eric.
No, he's not.
And
he is a baby. Listen, we talk about the blurred lines when he is cheered by adults and kids. The way that he is a baby face. They could hang a name tag on him that says, "Hi, I'm a heel" right here, but he is a baby face. He's not. It's not Baron Corbin. He's not getting booed out of buildings. Even like The Miz is a true heel. But
so what does that do?
It's not even the same.
So with Gunther, so just
where's my popcorn?
So hypothetically, we don't even know if Dom's even in the tournament.
But why you put him in there?
Because it makes sense in the story.
I don't. But the thing is, like,
it's a story.
You don't need a story for this.
But this is
why not?
That's why they're doing a tournament, though.
He shook Ray's hand last night.
So they
in the back. He shook Ray's hand last night in the back and was like, "He's a good kid."
Then what are we doing?
So hold on, Andy. Let me talk for a minute. There's no point in this tournament then. There's literally 0 point of this tournament then, because they should have just did that then, and then they could have gave that spot to an Obafemi or somebody last night. Like that's. I don't want to have we talk about how WWE constantly runs the same matches over and over for 2 and 3 weeks straight at a time. If you did this match a month and a half ago with Dom, I would be for it. I just saw it. I don't want to see it 2.5 weeks from now. I just saw it. And Dom, I thought, looked like $1 million.
But you can't disagree that there's a story there.
But there's a story anywhere. You can make a story with anybody.
With Gunther?
John Cena. You can make a story. Yeah, Gunther comes in, and Gunther is literally, they made a story with Cena and Rusev in 2 days. You know what the story always is? It's a lazy story. But the story always is he's the villainous foreigner. But the reality is with Gunther, your story is built in. Gunther can literally come out and say, I was a world champion and I got no respect. I retired Goldberg and I got no respect. So you know who I'm going to take down to get my respect? It's you. That's a more compelling story than running Dom back to me. I already seen Dom. I'm good. I've seen Dom's acts. He doesn't need a Cena spot. I think Gunther is $1 million, but he's missing a signature win. Dom has the WrestleMania win. That was massive for him. He was literally the most over person at WrestleMania. So he had his signature win. Gunther has no signature win. That's the story. He could come out and say, what do I have to do? Well, I was the most dominant Intercontinental Champion of all time. I have taken out Randy Orton and these people, and nobody respects me. So you know how I'm going to get respect? I'm going to take out John Cena and do it. There's your story. It's a great story. That's actually more of a long-term story told than what you're getting with Dom right now. Because Gunther's, you could go all the way back to when he won the Intercontinental title.
I said Gunther was going to win 2 weeks ago. No, I heard this today, and it's compelling. But in the moment, all the seeds are planted. That like going back, talking to his dad, he's like, give him the lesson, and maybe he learned his lesson. Like, hey, you got to admit there is a story there that makes sense.
Of course, there could be a story. My problem is too, for me, I don't want Hogan Warrior passing the torch crap. It's been done 1,000 times. To me, it's so old. It's so old, out of style, passe crap. I don't need it. Shake my hand. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to raise his hand. Hey, I want John Cena, win or lose, to have the ring to himself. I don't want it to be about putting anybody else over. John Cena put people over for 3.5 years, 4 years. And honestly, even in this, win or lose, he's been putting everybody's been in the ring what's gotten over. Even guys that didn't need to get over got over even more. AJ Styles was like, I mean, that's like one of the greatest matches he's ever had. I don't want that. I don't want Hogan raising Warrior's hand. I don't want it.
I think that's what you're getting.
I don't know that you're going to get that. I don't know that you're going to get that. You might, maybe you will. Maybe you will.
I think Cena.
I would be shocked if Dom is back in this.
For as much as he's done over the last few years, there's still that perception that Cena buried people back in the day. Now, right or wrong,
marks.
Right or wrong, right. That is perception. And I think Cena is the most selfless person in this whole run. He got his moments. He turned heel. He won the WWE title. Like I said, I don't think the Intercontinental title is his idea. I think that's WWE saying, here you go. Here's a gift. Thank you. Thank you for the 20 plus years that you've done business for us. Here's a I don't think Cena could care less about winning being a Grand Slam winner.
I don't think
I think what he cares about is his legacy, and his legacy is he wants to be able to be, like he said, make it better than it was before he was there.
I don't think he cared about getting 17. I think for Cena, this is really about coming back. And honestly, and I really believe it, seeing the work that Cena has done and how meticulous he has and how creative he is and imaginative in the ring, even with physical limitations, to provide a way to entertain everybody. I think Cena looked at that last 3 or 4 years and was like, even his look. He looked like an old guy, and he talks about not wanting to be one of those guys who's a shell of himself. And I think that I really believe that he looked back and probably thought to himself, like when he faced Roman at SummerSlam and whatnot, like I think he looked back at himself and probably, and this is my speculation, probably said, I could have gave better, and I want to come back and go out on a high note on my terms. And he is John Cena, so he has that kind of cachet and swagger. So I believe that is why you're getting what you're getting. In terms, this goes to Andy earlier, because I told you there's multiple things I want to reply to. Not you specifically, but the point you made about the people who say, oh, WWE gave them the title. Was that Eric? I don't know who said it.
I said it.
Okay. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? John Cena, if John Cena has the Intercontinental title today and loses it on SmackDown, great. Who cares? He's John fucking Cena. Let him do what he wants. He's got a month left. So who cares? Part of my language. But I had to get that point across. Who cares? I think the fact that you want to hang, I mean, some of the Grand Slam champions aren't even in John Cena's league. So if that's something they said, John, we want to do this for you. Guess what? It's not just for him. It's for their own legacy too. Mm-hmm. Because now that name is etched in their record books. John Cena is marked there. Much like AEW back in the day. Chris Jericho wins the title. Guess what? Your first champion is always Chris Jericho, who's a legend in his own right. That's a way of validation for your title. Same thing here. It's a piece of history that gets validated by now the greatest of all time joins the ultimate list. So who cares? Good for him. He could have won it and then lost it
an hour later.
7 minutes later. And I would have been like, great. I still enjoyed it. Oh, to the poll. Yeah, I guess we'll get there 29 minutes in. I am going to I actually thought this was, I wasn't even decided when I made this. I don't think it hurts if he wins and keeps it. But I'm going to disagree because I don't know what you do. And now this is something I believe they talked about on Busted Open, Eric. And this is kind of, I think, what sways me a little bit. We're seeing a tournament for his last match. Then how do we get to a new Intercontinental Champion? We do a tournament again. We do a battle royal. Who cares?
So I didn't realize you guys were muted. I panicked for half a second. Sorry.
I had a cough. I didn't want to
Well,
talk to them.
I saw you cough, and then I looked to Eric, and Eric was muted, and I went, "Oh, I'm the only one not muted here. Great,
you're up."
So I think you could do not a tournament, not a battle royale. I think you could do something, right? And I don't know if there's really a wrong answer here, whether agree or disagree. You put the title on him. There's really no wrong answer of when he loses it, because he's going to lose it regardless, right? Does he hold it for a week and
lose it if he takes it?
I see where you're going with that.
It's true.
My point still stands. You understand where I'm going with this, though. Whether he drops the title to somebody in 6 days in Madison Square Garden, or we wait till December 13th and you do something with the winner of this bracket. You know, Butters said it earlier, and he had this argument, was it this morning or last night in our little chat? You know, this is a title that Sheamus has alluded Sheamus as well. You could do a Grand Slam to Grand Slam, but then, in my opinion, I think that defeats the purpose of the tournament, right? This is Sheamus has been around forever and a day. Like, I look at these names, and I'm sorry, but, like, the Rusev, Nakamura, Sheamus, Miz, Jay, these guys don't need this, right? You're just putting bodies to put bodies in this thing.
Well, I don't think it's that. In fairness to them, I think people like Rusev and people like Sheamus, guys who were not, there just wasn't enough dates to give them the opportunity to step into the ring, specifically possibly with Cena. Mm-hmm. I think this is a way for them to be highlighted for their contributions to his career by being into this tournament without actually facing.
And I don't disagree with that, right? I don't disagree with that at all, and I like that, right? I don't know.
And I think that's why those two specifically moved on as well.
Correct. And, you know, we're going to see Rusev and Sheamus for the 80th time in the quarterfinals, which I'm not super excited about.
There's a story there.
Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah. Woohoo. Screw your story.
That's not what you wanted to say. You wanted to say something else.
You're right. I did. I tried to be nice.
Well played, sir.
But you could have had them in different brackets and it would have been okay. But now we're nitpicking at that. You know, I look to, you know, I'm more interested, and what's really getting me, I think, excited about this tournament is who's LA Knight facing, who's Solo Sikoa facing. Right, now, like, you want to, it gives you, I don't want to say that I don't have a reason to turn into SmackDown, but if you're invested in this tournament, or you weren't invested, now you have a reason to tune into SmackDown to watch this. Right now, you have a reason to tune in next Monday night to watch this, because there's that line in the original promo package of somebody who might not work in this company. Is that where you do this? Is this when? Like, Madison Square Garden's a great night to do that. If you are bringing out somebody like an Adam Copeland, or who else what other names have been thrown around? I know Joe Hendry's been thrown around. Jericho's been through. Well, I don't think Jericho, because AEW just wished him happy birthday. Like, his birthday was like 2 days ago, whatever have you. I can't imagine that if he's on the outs with the company, that they're going to wish him happy birthday still.
Well, I mean, his contract is going to expire. And the thing with Jericho is Tony was asked about him on a conference call, TK, a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he said, listen, we love Chris Jericho, whether he's here or he's not. You know, he was our first champion. He's given so much to this company over the first 6 years of the company, and he will always be considered family and welcomed here. So I don't think him. First of all, I don't think he'll be a part of the tournament, because I don't think the timeline lines up for when his he is going to WWE. I'm about as
no, and I agree.
Mm-hmm. Correct, but I don't. But to that point, though, if he was, I wouldn't totally consider it. Oh, I don't think they would. I wouldn't use that as a guiding line, because I think that they will recognize him for as long as they could, because he was such. I mean, he's the legitimizer of that company. He
True.
really was.
Yeah. Going to Andy's point, that's the most exciting part, is these mystery people. And I think Copeland and Jericho are kind of pipe dreams at this point. And I've said that before, where I don't think these guys are, they're just, they're names that make sense, that I don't think it's possible due to the contract situations. But I still think, to Andy's point too, MSG is a huge venue, and you're going to probably get more of a reaction, just as much, maybe not as much as you did in Boston, depending on who's coming out. But I would love to see a Matt Cardona come out there. I think people are smart. People are smart enough to know who he is. I would love him to come out to Zack Ryder's theme just for the hell of it. He doesn't have to come out with the headband or anything, but he could just do a little woo 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 and then be like, forget this. You're getting
copyright.
You're getting serious Matt Cardona, and he's going to take, I think, LA Knight's in the doghouse anyway. So
and that's where you, I think that's where you run into such a catch-22 with this tournament, right? And I say a very broad catch-22. We've talked about the Sheamus connection. We've talked about the Rusev connection. Everybody knows the Miz connection to John Cena. It's almost like part of you wanted this tournament to be anybody that did have a connection with John to be in there. But then it's like, well, John wants it to be all these people that, could quote unquote need the boost from wrestling John Cena, for lack of a better phrase. Need the rub. It's a really broad catch-22, but it's one I'm okay with, because you're getting sprinkles of both in there. This knucklehead wants to talk about sprinkling the magic or whatever the hell have you. It's not Disney World, right? It's wrestling.
No, but it's Cena's last run, and if he can do it now, there's no other time.
Of all people, I'm allowed to say it's not Disney World, okay? And well, yeah, you too. But we can say it's not Disney World. There's no magic here. It's going to be organically built, and I think that's what you have here. When we get to this finals, it's going to be something that is organic. I don't think the person that ends up wrestling Cena has a connection to him. That's why I do say, you know what, as much as I don't like it, a Gunther does make sense. A Javon Evans here could make sense, right? I ultimately don't think that last match has a connection to him.
I like what Dynasty's putting out here. I don't know that that's necessarily, but it is something to think about. If there is an ongoing legal issue, could that open the door as a, hey, we'll drop the suit if you let us pull Copeland for this tournament?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think everybody would be on board with that. But we talked about last week, or Thursday when we were on after Aaron Stevens, talking about if Copeland's in the tournament, he's got to win. He's got to be in the finals. So to that point, it's like, we'd love to see it, but it kind of takes away from the concept of the tournament. You want to give an opportunity for somebody new and exciting to get an opportunity. So the one match I can't wait to see Javon Evans and Gunther. Talk about two guys that have different styles.
Slap him out of the air.
They showed a clip today of Sheamus's chest. So like Javon Evans is going to wind up in the ER. He's going to have a chest like Jericho probably after the match is over.
Oh, like a Daniel Bryan chest, where every time you turned around, it was like he looked like he got lashed.
Yeah.
No, there's literally going to be just a handprint. Like Javon Evans is going to come up to do a springboard, and he's going to.
I never saw anybody like Daniel Bryan's though. Bryan Danielson. Yeah. That dude, his chest. I mean, he must have the softest, most sensitive skin, because that dude literally looked like somebody whipped him and lashed him with a leather strap over and over and over. It was like raw meat every match. It was crazy. Yeah, I mean, listen, some interesting ideas. Yeah, I think Joe Hendry's likely. Jeff Hardy's out there.
How many more are left to announce? I know R-Truth's in the tournament because he had that promo with Aldis. Basically, he's in already, so he's going to face somebody.
There's technically two more matches to announce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Aldis will announce on Friday.
Aldis needs to be in the tournament. Myself, I'm going to be in.
I would lose it. I've wanted that man to wrestle since he got there.
Well, I mean, I've been saying we interviewed him here. So he was one of the best interviews we had on here when he was the NWA champion. I'm going to bring this up again, guys, because we're another week and they've been doing it, and I hate it again. The way they are introducing these competitors is cheesy. It's corny. You know what? I think I'll keep this one close to the vest and then announce it. Or that. You know what? I think I better announce this one in MSG in New York City on next Monday night. Just give us the damn name.
Told you Cena should have did some packages, video packages, and introduced them as the brackets. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, and we had this out 2 weeks ago on here. I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, where we talked about how it should have been more Cena doing it than anything, right? Because if Cena could have come up with something funny to be like, I'll tell you later. Especially when you're looking at someone like Solo Sikoa, especially when you're looking at someone like LA Knight, right? You can tell him, hey, you're in the tournament, but I'll tell you who you're fighting later.
You know what?
Like, we're talking about all these mystery people. Did it cross anybody's mind that Roman could be the person against Solo Sikoa in this first round? Because that's immediately where my mind went.
Yeah.
I thought about that too, but I'm hesitant because I feel like he's going to focus on War Games. I think he's getting involved.
I think he's going to be the fourth member.
Yeah, without a doubt. Another name that I'm hearing floating around is Austin Theory, only because of the history. And Cena still owes him he got the WrestleMania loss from him.
Good sentence. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Listen, I don't hate Theory. I am really hoping with this break that he's had, depending on how he comes back, that we can hit the reset button because the talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is undeniable, but it got super goofy. And then, I said it a million times, say it again. I think Vince's stamp of approval is a death wish for anybody. It almost killed Drew's career, and I think it almost killed his too. Could never get out of that shadow, and then it became everything was forced, including the Cena loss at WrestleMania. So, honestly, though, I don't want him in this tournament. I want him to come out at War Games and help out the Division because I definitely think the Division is winning this War Games match. I would rather him do something involved with that to where that's like a different character. It's a more serious type of a guy who's aligned and maybe truly is aligned with Paul Heyman, not just like a little stopgap for a guy like Logan Paul. Like I feel like that's more of the spot I want to see him. I won't hate it unless he comes back as the same guy. Then I will hate it.
Fair.
I just think there's such an opportunity, and I feel bad for him too. He had him. It's almost like it felt like he fell off the face of the earth, but he had this like unknown major injury that put him out indefinitely for like ever. I mean, they broke a tag team up.
Yeah,
because they had no idea when he was coming back.
I got to give WWE a lot of credit last night. And
last time was a good show.
No, but specifically right before Rusev gets introduced. So, like, we know the match is coming up, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but you have Rusev coming out who, again, Crowy said it beautifully. That's why I chuckled earlier. He's the villainous foreigner. What video package do they run right before Rusev comes out? They run the Veterans Day package.
100%.
100%. I died laughing when that package ran, and then Rusev is coming out. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh, it's
so,
true.
yeah. Oh, it's damn true. Jumping into other major events that happen here. Kabuki Warriors, guys, defeat Charlotte and Alexa Bliss with the help of Lash Legend, who in hindsight, when I see flashes of her on the screen, I actually really like Lash Legend.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing her immediately interacting with like Nia Jax in flashes I keep thinking she looks like Naomi.
Yeah.
Kind of throwing
Like
me
a taller,
off a little.
muscular Naomi.
Like when I'm not paying attention and for the first 2 seconds she's on screen, I forget that it's not Naomi. She's awesome, by the way. But they have this set up, obviously, for War Games. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, they lose the tag titles to Kabuki Warriors with the interference of Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who then proceed a beatdown, which then results in Io Sky coming out and performing a save. She gets her upper hand, then she starts getting her ass kicked. And then Rhea Ripley comes out masked up with her protection for her broken nose or whatever she has going on, deviated septum. I'll find out.
And then throws a headbutt.
And then throws a headbutt.
Makes sense. Use the mask as a weapon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, so she comes out, she helps out, and then we get the War Games, which, by the way, too, for the men, never gets old.
Regal!
War Games. It never gets old.
See, you notice they did that in the backstage segment because the last time he did that at NXT, someone did it in the crowd and he's like, that's my line.
Oh, so good. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? I think my primary question I want to ask about this is it the right call to take the titles at this point off of Charlotte and Alexa?
No. And I feel like this was the whole end of the show. While it was great, I loved Rhea coming back. I love setting up for War Games because we are 3 weeks away from War Games and you haven't started laying out those teams, and there's still the advantage match that needs to happen and everything like that. But what drove me so nuts was that you just kind of thrusted the titles on the Kabuki Warriors for no reason. Yeah, you've had the back and forth, it's SmackDown, whatever have you, but why drop the titles now? It felt like also, it's just an afterthought because then you had the Rhea Ripley return and the War Games announcement. Like WWE didn't even show the win on their social medias. They went straight into the spot where Lash comes out and starts beating down Io, and then Rhea comes out. Like they went straight into that piece on their social medias. You don't get the pinfall for the Kabuki Warriors here, and it's just not hitting. Do you know what I mean? We transitioned from Io and Rhea to Charlotte and Alexa. Yeah, they have the titles, but it just felt really forced to put the titles on them. Because now you have a hungry babyface team that's clearly going to win, because if the Vision's going to win the men, we're not going to have both heel teams win.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're making these guys the underdogs, and you broke up something. It was really good. I thought their tag team run was great. And I really don't want to see you break up this tag team because you don't have established women tag teams anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So let me counter that a little bit.
Of course. Why would we be on the same page?
I don't think Charlotte and Alexa are done. I
hope
think,
not.
I think this team has been fantastic from the start. The story of them not being friends to we're not friends, but we're getting along, and their social media is really good. Their chemistry is something that I don't think they expected. I think it became very organic, and it really helped Charlotte Flair. I mean, remember at WrestleMania, she just got booed out of the building, and they needed to do something new with her. And she lost Money in the Bank. She didn't qualify for Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
She was lost, and Lexi's like, "Hey, let's get a team together." It was so well done that I hope. And I think this team is not done. I think the reason that the Kabuki Warriors, that you give it to the Kabuki Warriors. I see your point, Andy. It's kind of like, all right, we throw them on them, but I think it's to further the story with Charlotte and Alexa and Lash and Nia on SmackDown. And it kind of just was right place, right time for the Kabuki Warriors. So I would say maybe after War Games, you got a little bit of time before the Royal Rumble, maybe on a Saturday night's main event, maybe you get a triple threat for the tag titles. Maybe Charlotte and Alexa get them back. But I don't think you're going to see them disband yet. I know we got a tease with Jade on SmackDown where Charlotte is looking at the title and they're looking at each other and staring each other down. And I don't think they're getting there yet. I think it's still Jade and Bianca for
I think the caveat to that is Bianca ready to come back.
Sure. And with that, I think it's good to tease a Charlotte Flair Jade because that will be a match I'm sure they're going to do eventually, but I don't think that's going to happen yet. I think Charlotte and Alexa have been such a good team together. I mean, I think it'd be foolish to pull them apart now, even if they've lost the titles. I don't think that team's done.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think this has been great for both of them, who are both, Charlotte came back with a lot of heat. Really was not a favorable return in terms of the fan base coming back. And Alexa just kind of came back, did a spot, was gone for a couple months, did another spot. And in fairness, when you're not a part of WrestleMania plans, typically that run, unless it's the Rumble or an Elimination Chamber, which she did participate because they needed established bodies for those matches, you're typically not really around much or on television until post-Mania, which is kind of what we saw, right? So I think having them both work like this and knowing we talked about the personal story behind the scenes, how they were friends in the beginning in NXT, and then they both kind of had their own friends for a little bit and kind of went off on their own. But then during this period of time coming back together, they've kind of rekindled a very real life off-camera friendship, best friendship. So, yeah, I think it shows. They're really awesome to watch. I think I don't think we need to start going down the Charlotte path yet. I think we'll get there. I think to your point, Eric, the tease was good, set a little anticipation, and then let's see where we get to post maybe Rumble.
See, Chrome, we talked about this after WrestleMania, talking about like why isn't Alexa on WrestleMania, and you were right. Say I was wrong. You were something to the effect of Lexi isn't doing anything. We're going to wait till after WrestleMania. And it was kind of like, what is she going to do? And I think, was this the original plan? It may have been, but I think they did a really nice job of not only giving something for Alexa to do, but something for Charlotte Flair to do, especially like to your point, she came out, it was kind of force fed. She came back at the Royal Rumble. She won. Like, okay, now she's going to is she going to take the title at Mania? She didn't. So then now what's next? And I like where they went with Charlotte losing consecutive opportunities, and now she's got to go back to the back of the line and start her way back up. And I think they did a really nice job with that, and that the two combination. And I think it's done wonders for both of them.
Agreed. Before we get out of here, we got one last topic I want to make sure that we touch on. So have you guys seen the PWI 250 women's list?
I have not yet. I've been running around like a chicken without a head all day.
Fear not, my friend. I have loaded the list for you to be able to see.
Fantastic.
So we did this, I think, last month where PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, top 500 men's wrestlers was released. And we went through the top 10 and kind of broke it down. I don't think we're necessarily going to deep dive like we did into that one, but we did want to kind of pull it up, take a look at it, just give off our opinions on, did they hit it? Did they overvalue, undervalue? Is there anybody that was left off of this list that was snubbed? So let me pull that up. All right. Hold on. Here we go, boys. All
Gotta
right.
love Cultaholic.
Let me get rid of that banner so we can see Andy's face. There we go.
Ah.
Okay.
There he is.
So, Cultaholic, thank you for sharing the top 10 list here. So at number 1, Mercedes Moné. You already know where my
Yeah.
right now. Number 2, Toni Storm. Number 3, Saya Kamitani. Number 4, Tiffany Stratton. 5, Stephanie Vaquer. 6, Io Sky. 7, Athena. 8, Sorry. 9, Naomi. And 10, Rhea Ripley. So
Throw it out. Throw the whole damn thing
Really?
out.
Really?
Yeah. So I it's no secret.
Real quick, just to preface this. It's not like up to like a couple of weeks ago, right? They did this a couple of months ago. So it's usually around, I think the cutoff's usually the end of July or some point in August.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what have they done up to that point?
Correct. It's no secret. I'm not a Mercedes Moné fan. I haven't been for a while. The whole take my ball and go home bullshit a few years back really killed it for me. And this whole belt collector thing, it's just not working. I have not been, like, if anything, Tony should have been number 1, right? If we're going back to July, August time frame, I'm not an AEW guy, but you can't say that Tony's doing a bad job with what the timeless Toni Storm stuff and the amnesia thing, and then going back to being timeless, how that was all an act, and that was a masterclass on how to be a women's professional wrestler. Do I think Tiffany Stratton should go before Stephanie Vaquer? I think somebody over there is smoking the good stuff, because I think that's crazy. Granted, yes, Tiffany was undefeated, but you have to remember that this is there's a reason she was undefeated. In-ring talent, we're missing the boat here. Rhea Ripley at 10. It's a tough pill to swallow because I'd have to go back and remind myself what she was doing. And maybe that's why she's at 10, because while she was still prevalent, that might have been in the mix of the Rhea, Io, back and forth. Rhea can't beat Io timeline. I don't agree with the placement on there. A couple of these names I'm not familiar with, so I'm not going to say good or bad things about them. I think Athena, I'm glad she's on that list. I don't know if that's the right place for her, because if we are looking back to June, July, August, somewhere in that time frame, AEW really wasn't doing anything highlighting her like they should have been. I think you want to talk about somebody that they've dropped the ball on, there you go right there. But I will say I think Toni Storm should be number 1. Now, again, I'm not a Mercedes fan, but I will recognize that she probably should be in top 10 as well. But number 1 is a wrong call for me there. Also, no Becky.
Oh, no. Becky wasn't even around for most of the year.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry. I'm literally the Becky promo, Sports Illustrated, and everybody like that says that literally just played in my head.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have her on there to begin with. I mean, go ahead, Eric. I got a few things I'll throw in, but go ahead.
So Andy and I are actually going to agree on something for once. Get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, Mercedes isn't number 1. And I'm not a fan of her either. I'm wondering if she charged $25,000 to be on this list. You know,
Funniest thing he's ever said.
No, it's one of those things where it's like you're not putting anybody over, you're just winning titles. So what have you contributed except win matches in all these different territories? So I agree Tony should be number 1. I think I just watched about 10 minutes of Saya Kamitani. She's in Stardom. She's their top heel in Stardom. Don't know a lot about her. I agree. I think Tiffany Stratton's a little high on the list. I'd put Io probably there. And then Athena. I'd probably have Tiffany down near 8, 9, or 10. Another one I was surprised isn't on the list is Statlander. I'd probably have her in the top 10. I forgot about Athena earlier when I saw the top 5. I would put Athena over Statlander. But yeah, I mean, I think if Naomi had a full year of that run, I think she'd be in the top 5.
But if you're cutting it off at like that June, July, August time frame, right? She's in her full swing at that point, there.
That is true. That's a good
point.
And
that's the other thing you got to think about.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So,
go ahead, Carmen.
Yeah. Okay. Mercedes. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. I don't get it. I think she's a tremendous talent, and she does have some very, very good matches. But I feel like we're getting the Temu version of the boss by getting what we're getting in AEW. It seems like it comes off to me as very disinterested. It doesn't, I don't feel the emotional connection to the character that I felt with the boss, Sasha. So it's weird for me. It's very forced. The music, it's supposed to be catchy, and it was for like a hot week and a half. And then it's just not working for me. Belt collecting, I think you guys touched on it, but what is collecting a belt that nobody knows what it is? You want to talk about IWGP? You want to talk about, New Japan or Stardom is huge, AAA? Fine. There's a lineage. Those titles mean something, even though they're not like the top of the chain in terms of, recognition around their,
Notability.
Yeah. Jeez, I can't think. It's still like they're known. They're well known, and people can connect and say, okay, like those titles mean something. But like, a fucking purple one, we got a blue one, we got a pink one.
It's like we went on the undisputedbelts.com and just started ordering shit.
I mean, it's like we're just starting, like we're just going online and ordering fantasy football championship belts, and like, hey, can you go out and model these and put your arms out and we'll display them for people to buy? Like, I don't know. It doesn't work. I hated it with Kenny Omega. I hated it. And to your point, Eric talked about this weeks ago. So how does she lose all these titles? Is she going to go and suddenly drop all these titles? Because then what happens? Because then she looks terrible because then she can't win a match. Is she going to lose all of them to one? I liked Eric's idea, lose them all to one person and then let that person go and do it. Kind of doing all or nothing to kind of get your bailout. But it's true. She's done nothing for anybody. She's putting nobody over. Other than Tony, who didn't need it. I mean, I definitely think Tony needed to win that match. But it was less about getting Tony further over and more about, just show me something, TK, that tells me that you're not obsessed with Mercedes. Because I'm almost uncomfortable with how the level of obsession that I feel like is going on with this.
And, where are these other if you're these other companies, she's had some of these titles a hot minute. You're not out there defending them. Start stripping her of the titles, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, there was an idea that I also brought up was,
of course she did,
have the promoters from each of these territories show up on Dynamite and be like, you haven't defended these titles. You have X amount of time to defend these titles. And if you don't, you're going to be stripped. And then she throws a hissy because she's good at that. And have that be her conflict where she loses the titles that way. But I mean, there's got to be an end game, but what is it?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I feel like Wilson in Home Improvement now.
But moving on. So listen, Mercedes, top 10. I mean, she does have great matches. Top 10, but I would hike her way down. I'd go Tony 1. I've seen a little bit of Saya Kamitani. I can't I can't comment one way or the other, but I can say I've read about her so much that I imagine she fits the hype. So I won't move her. I'll assume that she's there for a reason. Definitely move Tiffany Stratton down. I mean, I think Stephanie Vaquer is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would probably put her in at number 3. I would put Io probably at number 4. I put Rhea at 5.
So wait, are you saying Mercedes goes to number 2?
No, I'm dropping Mercedes still. Buddy.
Okay, because you didn't fill a 2 spot.
I did. I was basically saying, like, say it would stay behind Tony.
Oh, okay.
I'm basically going down, right? So here's my thing with Athena, who I think is an incredible wrestler. She spent the entire year, well, she's really spent the last couple of years representing the piece of a brand that nobody sees regularly. And to me, how much faith can we put behind that? And I love Athena. I think she's a tremendous in-ring talent. And her character has been very, very good in AEW. I think it took a while, but she got there. But to me, I don't see the company as valuing her as a top 10 talent. So why do I care? That's just my opinion on how to judge that. So I would probably still keep her behind Rhea. Sarai, so I liked her in NXT. I mean, WWE definitely fumbled on her.
Where's she at now? Stardom?
She is in, I want to say NJPW.
Okay. Why can't I picture her?
If you Google her, you'll remember. She was a big signing right before COVID. And then, yeah. So she's killing it over in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE fumbled her. I thought she was awesome. In the ring, she had great matches. They just made her like a goofy, like, I don't know, it's like a weird character.
Yeah.
So let's just, for the sake of I don't watch enough of her now, that I'll leave her there. I have a problem with Naomi being on the list. And it's not that I don't think her year in the small portion we got was amazing. But to me, the highlight of her year where she turned the gears was like the last 3 months of this. And if I'm supposed to go by totality of the year, I don't think she hit the gas until she won the Money in the Bank.
Agreed.
So to that argument, because I'm looking at the rest of the list, I'm looking at like 11 through 20, and I understand why Naomi's on the list. If you go down the list, so 11 is you got JC Jane, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax arguably had a pretty good year.
She had a very good year. Her probably might have been her best year in ring.
I would put her in the top. I could probably put her in the top 10. I might put her over Naomi, actually. Like, then you got Starlight Kid. I don't know who that is. Lyra Valkyria, Statlander, Jordan Grace.
That's another one.
Oh, Lyra had a great year.
Lyra had a good year too. She had some really good matches.
So like, that's a big one for me. So like, I think the knock on her is character, but I don't think it was all her fault. And I think that character did start to develop against Becky.
Oh, definitely.
But like her quality of match is unbelievable.
Yes.
And again, going back to like Naomi on the list and having Rhea Ripley so low. I don't care. You can throw any match you want to at me. I am telling you the match of the year for the women. It's twofold. It is Evolution between Rhea and Io. And then flip. Now, SummerSlam, I don't think was a part of it. That was Evolution, I think, did get in before they cut this list. But to me, that is 1,000,000% a huge banner on the ladies who are like I can't believe Rhea Ripley is so low on this list.
Yeah, that
another name
WrestleMania match too.
Yeah, another name I'll throw in here: Willow Nightingale.
Yes, she is.
Did she really kick off though? I thought she had a late start to the year. I could be wrong.
I think she was injured. I think she was injured, and then she came back, and then I believe she might have been injured. They got Mina Shirakawa ahead of Willow Nightingale.
That's crazy. couple comments here. Go ahead.
Nope, sorry. No, you're good.
Let's see. I think Triple H would push Athena to the moon if she had returned to WWE.
They have their chance.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. The War Goddess was a great character. Here we go. Hey guys, quick question: who is Blake Monroe's better half? Is it Blake herself, or what is better half? I don't know. Is that like the thing I'm missing out on?
So Blake made a reference to her better half, and I don't remember the context of the reference, but I get where he's going with it. And everybody's asking, who's the better half? Is it somebody they're bringing in?
Gotcha.
Or
I'm a couple weeks behind on NXT. I'm about 2 weeks behind on NXT.
Oh God, last week ended phenomenally.
Yeah, well, don't spoil it.
I've
gone 2 weeks without watching.
Yeah,
so.
Blake. Basically, without giving it, like Blake is really coming to her own now. She's starting to really heat up. Now she's the North American champion. So, and I think anticipation is when they're going to get that match with Sol Ruka when she's cleared. So
wait.
Another phenomenal name that's not. I think you can make an argument should be in the top 10. Sol Ruka just has unbelievable matches with everybody,
and that finisher is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's like one of the best finishers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, Brian Daly chiming in.
Hey, Brian.
Ducks suck.
Oh, that's not nice.
I gotta give Brian a hard time.
We all do.
It's been like 6 months since I've given him a hard time.
Yeah. Well, you're here giving us one every week, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, great show, great comments. Thank you. If you haven't yet, please throw a like on the video or throw a heart on the video if you're on somewhere that has reactions. Give it a reshare, give us a follow, do all that. Not just here, but on all of our social media platforms for A2D Radio and for us. There's our Instagram and A2D Radio's Instagrams right there. YouTube page, Lazy Booking Podcast also has its own YouTube page that we archive our shows that you're seeing here live on A2D Radio, as well as we have some original content that we drop on there that will be increasing as time goes on. So make sure you guys give us a follow over there. Just look it up, Lazy Booking Podcast. Come on.
And if you didn't see our interview with Aaron Stevens last week, please take a look at that. That was
Damian Sandow for all the
yes.
WWE only fans.
Yes.
Not only fans, but only WWE fans. Yes, of course, we acknowledge our tribal chief, KZ. Come on, bro. You've been around here long enough to know we always acknowledge the tribal chief. Appreciate the comments. And again, guys, we mentioned it last week, so we want to make sure we get it out there again. Mark your calendars. I'm going to block everybody's face here.
Good.
We've talked a lot about John Cena here today. We're going to be really ramping that up. We talked about December 13th being John Cena's final appearance for WWE as an in-ring competitor on Saturday night's main event. Lazy Booking Podcast is excited to welcome special guest co-host. Not just a guest, a co-host. It's going to be like Ritz, going to be like everybody, Eric, me and Eric. These guys are going to be here. We're just going to talk some wrestling with them. We're going to talk John Cena's farewell tour run. We're going to talk about the booking of this tournament and everything involving the John Cena farewell tour booking, as well as he's going to come back on December 16th, and we're going to review the final match, the whole show in general, and maybe talk some other wrestling stuff. We might talk about some of his past accomplishments or things he partook in, as well as get his opinion on some of the current wrestling things. So it's going to be an awesome time welcoming Vince Russo to the Lazy Booking Podcast on December 9th, December 17th, here on A2D Radio, and later archived on the Lazy Booking Podcast YouTube page. So excited about that. We'll have more content coming to you too. Eric's anecdotes with Arch seem to be a big hit. People seem to enjoy those. So good stuff with that. Shout out to your wife for coming up with a great name, a catchy name.
Just say no way he was that smart.
No, of course not.
Listen, you're only as smart as
hey,
the woman
that you short of a Happy Meal. You know, I gotta be.
That's it.
I gotta be honest to the audience.
That's it. We're only as smart as the woman who's willing to put up with us. So, but listen, great show today. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. There we go. Brian saying, can't wait for this. It's going to be huge for you guys. Yeah, man, it's going to be a great time, brother.
Thanks,
really
Rue.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Rue for hooking that up. For myself, for Andy, for Eric, and excuse me, itch in the throat.
Happy Veterans Day to all that have served,
including this guy right here
that are serving.
Including this guy right here. Thank you very much, Eric, for your service. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And to everybody out there, yes, happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there. We thank you for what you do, for allowing us to do fun things like this and live, with the rights and freedoms that we do have. So your efforts and your sacrifices, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it is so much appreciated, especially by us and here on this show, and honestly, everybody here at A2D Radio. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, as Andy always says, go ahead.
Hold on. You skipped something. We got to thank Dr. Paul Vidal and his team at Specialized Physical Therapy for always sponsoring A2D and the Lazy Booking podcast. Check them out right there, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. And until next time, tell somebody you love them. Peace, love, and joy. We're out.
See you.
1098. Go Sixers, go Birds.